Hey everybody, it's been a little while since I have recorded any battle reports for Brutality, and I'm currently playtesting and creating all of the probably 50 plus missions for the settlement mode for the new supplement, and this is one of them. So in one of these, you pick a random person in your warband, and they get to try to free the other warband members. And in this case, I decided to do ThunderCats, so the ThunderCats are kidnapped. And I'm using my Collegium Carnus models, like that little guy there, and Dunch over there with the Gatling gun, and Ghost here. This woman goes through walls, and that guy over there. So they're the ones that have the ThunderCats kidnapped. Well, I rolled randomly for which ThunderCat gets to save the others, and hilariously enough, it's Snarf. So Snarf right here gets to try to save the others. So I'm using my stealth mechanics that are in the settlement mode. We will see how this goes. I do not have high hopes for him. So we will see. Alright, this is the end of turn 1, which was extremely short. Snarf moved up here. He didn't want to run or use powers or anything like that because that would alert the enemies. And then he tossed a rock up to 12 inches over here. And that caused their sentry to move half his movement over to the place where he heard a noise. At the end of the turn, game turn 1, they get to move one enemy model. And of course, these rules are still under playtesting and all of that, but currently that's the case. So playing as the enemy, I was thinking, I'm not going to move that guy, Reich. I think I'm going to move Dunch. So I can move, since the alarm has not been raised, I can move Dunch in any direction, half of his movement, which is 3 inches. So I know that Snarf is probably going to be going after Panther there, and then probably Lionel. So I get one model at the end of the turn. Next turn I'll get 2 models. Next turn I'll get 3 models, etc. as they close in. So let's see if we can actually save Panthro and the other ThunderCats. Alright, this is the bottom of turn 2. Once again, very quick right now until the combat starts. Snarf moved from here up to there. He did not run. He threw a rock over there, which caused him to move over half his movement. Then at the end of turn 2, he can move over half his movement again, and this guy moved his half movement here. Now, he is outside of the willpower of this little right guy with the tentacle. So he is not being seen yet. So let's see how this pans out in the last turn. Okay, so this is the bottom of turn 3. I forgot to mention that after I activate all my player models, which is just one, which is Snarf right there. Right there is Snarf. I get to roll 1d10 for all of my captives, and on a natural 10, they will free themselves. So you roll them individually. Well, at the end of turn 3, Panthro actually rolled a natural 10 and freed himself. So that allowed Snarf was going to waste one more turn. He was going to throw a rock and confuse that guy. This guy, little guy right here, and distract him from there. Well, Panther now gets an action. So Panther moved over here and was able to distract the other guard with his action, throwing rocks. So, at the end of that, they will move their 3 more inches back here. He will move his 4 more inches right here. And he's still barely out of range to see Snarf. He is also out of range to see Panthro, because you're using a willpower stat. And then also Ghost right here moved 4 inches, which is half her movement, and just in their direction. So this is very, very interesting. If you can't pick up on that just from the video, it is pretty anxiety-ridden, actually, trying not to be found and trying to strategically figure out where I can throw a stone, which will distract them so that I can get away. And meanwhile, the guards are like kind of suspicious about what's going over in this corner. So I've got 2 free people, and I'm trying to free the other 3, but I don't know if we'll come to that before combat. Alright, this is the end of turn 4. We're having some real trigonometry here, trying to get Snarf and Panthro out of their line of sight. Snarf moved over here from over there, and he threw a rock, distracting that guy. That guy moved 4 inches that way, and then during his activation he moved 4 inches back. And then Panthro chucked a rock all the way over here, distracting him. He moved 3 inches that way, and now moved 3 inches back. But they're both still out of the view of Snarf. You're going to have to assume that in these stealth missions it's very dark, so they can't see. So they both moved back, and then she moved her 4 inches, because remember, the alarm has not been raised yet, so they can't act as normal. They might be suspicious, but they don't know what's going on, so she's coming back here to check on Chitara. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get Lion-O or not. The enemies are just too close, but I think we're probably going to get caught anyway. Oh, I forgot this is turn 4. So he's going to move his 3 inches here. Half of his movement. And that's the end of turn 4. Alright, this is turn 5 with some fancy footwork. We moved Snarf over here. He threw a rock, distracted the gunner right here. He moved that way, and then he moved back on his activation. Panthro quietly climbed up and made sure he could not be seen by any of the sentries while I sneaks up behind Lion-O. He threw a rock and distracted the fast guy. He went over there and then activated back over here. Then Ghost moved 4 inches this way, and Gil moved 3 inches that way. So that's where we're at. I think we're about to have our combat now on turn 6, because once he goes and frees Lion-O, all hell is going to break loose, and we still have two people in captivity. So we'll have to see what goes on there. Okay, guys, this is really, really cool. I think this is turn 7, or it might be turn 6, I forgot. But anyway, so what they did in order to keep the stealth ability, Snarf moved over here and threw a rock to distract Dunch, the guy with the Gatling gun, so that he couldn't see when Panthro came up here and freed Lion-O. So in other words, we're still in the stealth mode, okay? Lion-O was currently out of view of Reich, the tentacle guy, and Dunch was turned around like this. So Lion-O leapt behind Dunch and assaulted him from behind, rerolling hits with rear arc, and hit him 3 times. All 3 times hit with rerolls. Dunch failed all of them, even though his save is 5. So we just executed Dunch, but the alarm now has been raised. But the way that stealth happens is that you strike first if the alarm has not been raised. And if you kill the person, then the alarm will not be raised because you silently slit their throat or whatever. The problem is that Reich is right there and he sees Lion-O now. That's the only reason why we didn't get away with this completely. But Dunch, their only ranged person, is now out of the equation. And that is super exciting. Now that the alarm's raised, the lights are going to turn on or whatever, magically or electronically or whatever you want to say. And now everybody can see everybody and everything is as normal. So now we're going to begin normal activations with everybody. Unfortunately, all 3 of my people have gone. So now they're going to get all 3 of their people. But from now on, it's going to be normal activation after that resolves. Alright, trying to keep it brief here. There's been a lot of skullduggery happening. Reich, the tentacle guy, comes behind Lion-O, charges him, and neither one of them do anything to each other. They both save everything. Then when Lion-O is facing the tentacle man, Ghost comes up from behind him, charges Lion-O, he saves everything, and deals a damage and a blinding to her. So Lion-O's over here fighting for his life. Meanwhile, Gil, the berserker, moves over here and charges poor Snarf, but shockingly misses 2 out of 3 of his attacks. And Snarf actually manages to deal 1 damage from him. And Snarf saved the 1 hit. Another very eventful turn. Reich charged Lion-O in the back, dealt 2 wounds to him, did some sort of stat minus 2 fight skill, I think, and gave him disarmed. Lion-O struck back, dealt an unsaved wound, and gave him agony. And Ghost ran away because she was blinded, so she needed a turn to rest. Panthro tried to charge Ghost and failed. Lion-O, when he activated, he rolled a natural 1, so it was a critical fail on his charge after picking up his weapon. Snarf used the command token to move and run. He hurt himself trying to use the Book of Omens to cast Time Slip on himself, but he did get the Protect off. Gil charges into him, and they do absolutely nothing to each other. So this turn, I'm going to try to get Snarf. I think he's too close to the enemies to free Chitara, but I think if his roll is high enough, he might be able to move 12 inches and use a free action to free Tigra. I'm not positive if the measurement works out. Alright, Ghost over there, right here, killed Lion-O, but he dealt a damage and an agony. Reich never passed his agony. And also, Ghost used her once per game ability where she cannot be targeted at all for anything. That saved her butt. Snarf ran over here before Lion-O died with the command token and freed Tigra. Tigra runs over here, knocks down Gil, confuses him, strikes him down, beats the crap out of him, loses 1 hit point but deals 1 damage. And then Panthro frees Chitara. Chitara runs over there. She was going to target Ghost, but she couldn't because this turn Ghost can't be targeted. So that is... Oh, and then Gil rolled a natural 1 for his charge and did nothing. So Tigra really gave him a whooping. All right, next turn. All right, Chitara charged. Well, Ghost used to be up where Chitara is. She lost a hit point when she charged Ghost. Ghost was unable to pass her agony. Reich is unable to pass his agony. Panther tried to charge Ghost, but he failed when she was close to Chitara. Tigra used to be right here. Gil charged into him, dealt a damage, even though Snarf had already given him a protect and a time slip. And then Tigra foolishly charged back into Gil and died. So the score is currently 5-3 in favor of the ThunderCats. Alright, this last turn was a bit of a mop-up session. Snarf didn't even get to do anything. Panther ran here, killed Gil, and threw his carcass against the building for good measure. Chitara charged in and killed Reich. Reich did nothing back to her, shockingly. And Ghost is still in agony. She failed her willpower and ran back here so she would not die. The ThunderCats win 7-3, and everybody was rescued even if they did die. So Snarf succeeded in his mission. I'm actually pretty shocked that happened. Anyway, thanks for watching, and sorry my voice is all weird. I'm getting over a bad cold. But I will eventually be making more videos, so thanks for watching. And remember, if this is interesting to you at all, please spread the word. And I'm an independent creator, and my game is completely independent, not like any of the big fat cat corporations that have infinite purse capacity. Anyway, thanks for watching.